The Devil May Cry series is one of the more interesting from last decade. After a critically acclaimed first entry in the series, there was sharp backlash to the second before another widely praised entry in the third series with Devil May Cry 3: Dante's Awakening. Of course, now there's going to be a complete reboot of the series developed by Ninja Theory to be published early next year, but that doesn't mean that the earlier games should just be forgotten. In fact, just a few months ago, the first 3 games were given the HD treatment and re-released, and while the games are great, there are a few reasons to be cautious with this. This is the Devil May Cry HD Collection for the Xbox 360. Now, like my Xbox 360 Triple Pack review, this isn't going to be an individual review of each of the 3 games included here. Instead, I'm going to be looking at it as a whole. Each game follows Dante, known for hunting demons in stylish fashion, and in chronological order, the games included are 3, 1, and 2. This may actually be a good way to play them if you're looking for something a little bit different than the usual style, especially if you want to get all the original stories out of the way before the series gets a reboot to see exactly what they change. Especially with the HD paint, these games almost feel like one really long title split into 3 parts, and that's a very good thing. Combat actually holds up surprisingly well in this collection, with the different attacks and moves allowing for very fluid gameplay, and enemies definitely put up a challenge, especially in the first and third games. There's also a good variety of creatures to fight over the course of all 3, so it won't feel pointless if you're playing them all in a row. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Devil May Cry 2 wasn't nearly as well received as the previous game, and while its tone changed and its difficulty was reduced, the game uses a more natural control scheme than the first, and this is actually the control scheme Dante's Awakening uses as well. In the first game here, the X button is in action and holding down the right bumper and the B button shoots, but in the next 2, the X button shoots by itself, and the B button is the action button. It may seem like a small change, but it feels much more user-friendly. I kind of wonder why the first game didn't use this. However, with all of the positives this collection has, there is one thing that makes the games really show their age: the camera. I can't even describe how frustrating it is, and this is across all 3 games. Not only can you often not see enemies because of where you're positioned, you can't even use the right stick to change the angle, even though it's just sitting there waiting to be used. What this means is that it has that old school style of just shifting the perspective depending on where Dante is in the room, and by old school, I mean awful. This is really the only big complaint I have with the collection. The Devil May Cry HD Collection does make the series a lot easier on the eyes, and this definitely makes the game more appealing to this generation of gamers. The Devil May Cry HD Collection will probably not draw in gamers who weren't previously a fan of the series, but this is a decent buy for anyone looking to play through the original trilogy. The keyword there is decent. It's not spectacular, but if you want to play as Dante some more, check this one out.